Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We're excited to have our food team joining us, and they will be presenting on Help Wanted, leveraging automation to overcome the labor shortage. And I know you're all eager to get started with the presentation. So before we begin, as a reminder, we are recording this webinar and we will post it to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And if you do have any questions during our presentation, please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will answer them at the end of our session during our Q&A time. So now I'm going to turn it over to Scott to kick off our presentation.
Thank you, Angie. Yeah, and like Angie said, we are a food team. Three of us will be presenting today, and I'll introduce everybody here in just a moment. We are just a part of our food team, but we believe we bring quite a bit of experience to our food companies. So, like I said, I'm Scott Warner. You can see my contact information below. I've got about 5 years of experience in the grocery and retail sector, as well as frontline manufacturing experience. We also have Scott Borsodi. Scott Borsodi's been in the food space for a little over 25 years in service and distribution, operations, sales management, pretty much everywhere Scott's been, as well as he's got 8 years of BC and NAV experience and 9 years in the supply chain cargo security. And then last but not least is Jim Weaver. He is 22 years as a sales representative and national account executive in the food service industry, as well as 40 years total in the food service industry.
Thank you, Scott. Why Microsoft? Well, over the last decade, Microsoft has collaborated with businesses worldwide to enhance the user experience. Microsoft is the leader in research and development with billions of dollars invested. Microsoft's commitment to keeping its users on the front end of technology advancements for what companies need in an ever-changing world.
Part of the Microsoft journey is the digital transformation. And what that does for everybody is allows customers to engage, empower employees, optimize operations, and transform the visualization of your products. Meaning that if everybody is sharing this information digitally, which we are today, and continuing to evolve in that manner, allows you to do more with less.
Thanks, Scott. Why Microsoft again? As I mentioned in my previous slide, Microsoft invests far more than its nearest competitor, allowing you an enhanced user experience. As you will see on this slide, we've noted $16 billion invested since their research of 2019. They are the second largest investment by a software company behind Alphabet, and compared to Oracle R&D investment, $6 billion.
Some might ask, why Business Central? So Jim has given you some background on Microsoft and their investment. Business Central is the #1 ERP software utilized for small to mid-sized business in the world. So over 200,000 customers and millions of users. And it's the cornerstone of Microsoft Business Systems platform. What that means to you, it's integrated with Microsoft Office 365. So it allows you to reduce the number of clicks, reduce the screen minimization, and floating around trying to find the answers to your questions. And again, one of the key things that everyone likes about Business Central is it's customizable to meet your needs. If only one shoe would fit all, right? But it doesn't. And every independent business is unique, and nobody wants to give up those unique things, what separates them from their competitors. And with Business Central, it allows you to scale and make adjustments to the things that make you who you are. And that's probably one of the leading attributes to Business Central. So continuing with that thought, Business Central can be built from the ground up to meet a food distributor's needs. While it has all the core components of purchasing, forecasting, accounting, warehousing, sales, but there's always those little things that somebody wants. So it's easy to modify to fit every distributor's uniqueness. And with extensions, as opposed to what we formerly called modifications, we're no longer modify the core code. We do it in an extension, which allows your upgrades to be much lower cost, less complexity. And that reduces your total cost of ownership significantly. This is an example in the forecasting area of data and how the system can help you taking historical information, forecasts that you enter, and using AI, predictive analytics. And over time, this only gets more and more powerful.
Yeah, and kind of to add on to that, Scott, is so don't take this graph here for exactly what we're going to talk about today, but assume you've been in business for quite some time and you've got quite a bit of historical data that the AI can really build off of. And let's take Thanksgiving, holiday seasons, your turkey sales, or whatever your holiday we're speaking on, and assume that this system here or this data would represent something similar to that. So down this line, it would have November of 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and so on. And you would see a slow progression or kind of how you've done over the years. And it'll take all that into effect up into your current year. And then it will also predict on this darker line down the middle here as to where they predict you should be using your historical data and some of the inside or outside factors that may have caused that. Gaining customers, losing customers, what have you, COVID, who knows. And then, so that's kind of what this gray area above and below represents here. So it's predicting you'll be at X. However, based on the year you had, you may be up in here or down below. And this can predict out as far as you want to set the data tables to. So as you can see, it gets a little wider the further out we go. We're not sure. The AI doesn't have enough data to predict 2 years out. But as we get closer in here towards what we are to current and with this upcoming holiday season, it'll be much more accurate. And as time goes on, then this gray area will start to thin out towards the middle, and you'll have very accurate data.
And if I could add a little bit to that, is what this does is by having this intelligence built into the system and using AI and other tools within Business Central, that allows an individual, for instance, in purchasing, to be able to do the job of what often is described as one purchaser, one replenisher. This allows, because of the information, the data, and the AI, it allows one person to make informed decisions in a much quicker manner. They're not reflecting back on spreadsheets and notes and emails and other information. It's all housed right there in front of them in one system. They can view a forecasted order, make adjustments to it very quickly, and proceed with a purchase order, thus reducing labor in this, what is a unprecedented market. We just can't find enough people, and that's affecting supply chain, as we all know.
Thanks again, Scott and Scott, for your insight. That's very interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about automating your rebates and billbacks. By employing this digital transformation, it will help you in reducing your labor, improve your accuracy, and give you real-time visibility with your accruals.
There we go. And I'm going to go into a live demo real quick, just so I can kind of show you what Jim was talking about there. Because really, it's a really cool feature that that Business Central has come out with, how to automate and take over your accruals, let it be in the system, and not have to deal with all that manual labor.
While Scott's getting the software up, I'll just mention, in addition to what Jim's already described, you know, most every distributor is using some form of tracking your earned income, your rebates and billbacks, and most of them run a third-party software. This, with Business Central, as the old saying goes, one source of the truth. Everything's in your ERP. So when you have a question, it's easy to get the answer to your question.
It sounds like it would save a lot of time for the operator.
Yeah, so let me get into this vendor rebates that we're talking about here. And again, we set this up. This is a demo database, so we have to set everything up per what we're trying to set up. So I created a little example for today. We're talking about our Thanksgiving sales. We're going to stick on that. So as you can see, I've got a Thanksgiving promo. I know, again, Business Central is customizable. Everybody sets these up differently. So I'll kind of walk you through some of the options and different ways you have to set up these promos and rebates. So let me blow this up just a little bit bigger so everybody can see. So just your typical, we've got a vendor number or a rebate number as well as a name for it. We also have plan type, so we have a promo rebate as well. We could do this for reporting if we wanted a what if scenario. We've got when do we want this to accrue? You've got options. We have it set today for upon invoice or credit memo. You also have the option of start and end dates. So if you want to have this accrual run from a certain point till an end date, you have that option as well. As well as the date type. So when is this accrual going to end? So it ends on 12/31. Do we want that to be upon the posting date or the date the order was submitted? Again, your option, your decisions there. As well, then we have on this right-hand side, you can see what our balance is. So as orders are put in and you are accruing for your turkey sales, there will be a running total at the end of the rebate or the accruals. You'll have your vendor send you the check for whatever your remaining balance is. As well as your selections. So we have it set for buy from, and we have it also for a specific vendor. You have options of all vendors or vendor groups. For the item selection, we have specific item. However, you have the options of categories, a manufacturer, a vendor, or an item group. As well as the minimum value type, we have it set to quantity. And then in computation or unit of measure, we have it set for case. So like I said, we have a specific vendor. Down below, you'll see I've got it set for dot foods. Many of you, I'm sure, order items from dot foods. As well as if we open up our items card here, you'll see that we're ordering a butterball turkey. We're buying this by the case. And as well as that we have a multiplier value of $2 back per case. And then I'll go into an actual sales order, and I'll show you how it posts. So remember that our balance was $30. And we'll go into a new sales order here. And I do apologize that my internet is slow today.
Well, you touched on a good item though, Scott. Well, on the previous screen that how you've got it set up for Butterball, and I also want to mention that the system has a built-in cross-reference. So if you're ordering from .foods, you can use the item cross-reference and order your item number against .foods item number or Butterball's. So there's traceability all the way back, and it adds simplicity and accuracy to the system.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they make it as simple as possible for you. You make your selections and hit go. It's ready to run. There we go. Sorry about that. So we'll put an order in for Treasure Bay. It's really slow today. There we go. So as you can see, all I had to do was begin to type and it will fill it out. It didn't quite pop up like it normally does. However, so we've got our new sales order. We'll go in and we'll go with an item. We're going to go type in our description for Butterball. Choose our selected item. It'll begin to populate all of these other fields for us. We're going to put in an original quantity, or sorry, a quantity of, let's do 10. Shrink this screen a little bit. So as you can see for our promo and rebates here, it's still at $0 because this is a so then we'll just go ahead and post this. Forgot to put a value in the posting date. Make that today. Don't want to open that up. And as simple as that, then it's going to track that those 10 cases we just sold. Go back to our home screen. Another feature that Microsoft has is again, it's integrated with our Microsoft Office. So we have it connected to a Power BI report. So down below, we've got a Power BI report that's going to actually track our accruals for our business managers that would like to just kind of log in on their home screen and check to see how that accrual is running. You can have a Power BI report that'll populate, and you can check in real quick, not have to go into the actual accrual and check everything out here. So as you can see, you got our Thanksgiving Day promo. It's broken down by cases and sold. This is just an example of some of the features that Power BI can create and give to you, along with BC, being that they're fully integrated and in real-time data. As soon as you make an order, it's going to post to both your accrual and your Power BI report. Everything's going to be up to the date or up to the minute, real-time information.
Scott, if I might offer a little more on that, I mean, as you suggested, but from a role center, so it depends on what your role is in the organization. This allows you visibility into everything that's important to you. These are your KPIs right here on your screen every day, all the time. And then when it comes down to you don't have to look anywhere else. You don't have to minimize to get to a report and go to My Documents or any storage repository. Everything is right at your fingertips with Business Central. So again, if you're the owner, you're the president of a food distribution company, you want to know how you're doing, how much money people owe you, your suppliers and your programs you have set up. It's a click away. Likewise, if you're in purchasing or sales, the same information is available to you with one easy click. So you know how your customers are doing, how your vendors are doing. Easy to use. Don't have to go look for information. It's right there in front of you.
Yeah, that is the nice, easy feature of Business Central. All you have to do is log onto your home page. All of this is customizable to what's important to each individual. So if it's whatever the case may be, we can have it put in front of you, and all you have to do is log into your home screen, and you can see a big picture if something doesn't look right, because Microsoft does use, or Business Central does use, kind of a stoplight. If it's in the green, we're good, no worries, everything's up to your standards. Yellow, maybe needs to take a look, and red's definitely like, hey, what's going on there? And all of this is drillable, so I can click into any of these, and I can break it down to the simplest level to see kind of where my struggles are, and I can see where the issues are coming from.
Hey, to that topic you brought up about customizable, Scott, I'd like to mention something on that. So it's you can modify this yourself, or if you need to create an extension, you can do that yourself as well. What that allows you to do is keep your overhead down. You can be self-sufficient. You can do this. A distributor can employ the people to do it on your own. Or you can have somebody like Innovia as your partner make those modifications, customizations that you require. But if you choose, you can control the system on your own. And that's kind of a change from the past where you had to, it cost you more money, you had to wait in line, there was timing. You can control your destiny, which I know food distributors like to hear that.
Yeah, all kind of coming back to that reducing labor. I mean, we can have one person checking in to do a large part of this, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It's all the data's there. All you need, everything you'll need is right in front of you. So again, doing the same amount of work or more work with less people. Anything else on this, Scott, or should we keep moving on?
I think we're good. Thank you.
We're good. Okay. Perfect. Yep. So now we're gonna get out of this. We're gonna go back into our slideshow here. We'll kind of give you a little bit more information on Innovia.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your insight and your comments. For one that just recently spent the last 22 years of distribution, I would say if I would have had some of these tools, it would have saved not only myself time and my team as well. And it's interesting to see how Business Central, how multiple people can be in the system to reduce the amount of communication, errors, and just be a lot more self-sufficient, and you can kind of control your own destiny. So in this slide here, we're going to talk about why Innovia Consulting. Well, Innovia Consulting has a proven track record with Microsoft and is a top 5 gold certified level partner. Our expertise is implementing Dynamics 365 Business Central. That's just what we do. We have a lot of people that come to us for solely that purpose. We have over 35 years of experience in the business. We have a very seasoned and qualified food team that we've talked about at the top of this broadcast. We have over 90 years of experience in food service distribution. We currently have over 65 team members, 3 locations, and we're spread across the United States. I'm speaking to you from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Scott are up in South Bend. We have 4 implementation teams with a dedicated support team that's available 24/7. One of the things that I'm very fond of is just how Microsoft recognizes our customers, that what we call the Commitment to Excellence Awards. Our customers have the opportunity to achieve these awards through employing Microsoft Dynamics, their ERP, or their CRM software. And the last I'll leave you with is our core values and guiding principles are led by demonstrating an open door, open communication, and open mind policy.
Thanks, Jim. And then a little more on Innovia and our approach and why we have the high success level that we provide to our customers is analysis and troubleshooting. So in our support and professional services department, you can see on the screen the consistency in first analyzing or troubleshooting or initiating and planning. We want to understand what the problem is, because people don't always mean what they say by what they provide in the information. So we analyze, we gain agreement, and then we can execute with their approval. We do this as a team with our customers to make sure. What we don't want is to make changes in your system only to find out it's only close. It's not exactly what you meant by what you said. So our approach is to analyze that through this proven process, which improves the success rate and delivery, which is obviously, once again, as I've already said, helps you reduce time and reduce cost by these standard processes that are proven.
So Angie, did we have any questions that came through, or if you want to unmute and go ahead and ask out loud? I'm not sure how you prefer to field those, Angie.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, we do have a couple questions that came through. The first one is, can this replace third-party software like TrackMax for rebates and accruals?
Yeah, I'll take that one if I could, Angie. Thank you. Absolutely. TrackMax is a system that I'm very familiar with from my food service distribution days, and it's utilized by most every food distributor in the United States, if not outside of the U.S. But Business Central has all the capability to track your accruals, your rebates to customers, your accruals from vendors, all this earned income, as we call it, and provide that information at your fingertips. So yes, it can do that. It can work with programs that come across from buying groups such as Unipro. and many others. So complete resource for tracking your rebates, billbacks, accruals. Yes.
All right, thank you. And we got one other question that came through. Does the forecasting tool take into account seasonality?
Scott, do you want to take that one as well?
Sure. I had to unmute myself. But thank you. And the answer to the question is yes. And how you take into consideration seasonality, I mean, the system will do it. And kind of in our presentation, we touched on that as well, because of the AI and the way the system works. Over time, it only gets more robust. So to the question of seasonality, it understands that if you're in a resort area, that business starts to ramp up at a certain period, and towards the end of April, a little more in May, June, we're really running. It understands that, same as the seasonality in the turkey example that Scott provided. So yes, it takes into consideration seasonality in its forecasting.
All right, great. Well, thank you guys for presenting. I think that's all the questions that we have for you today. If anybody has any further questions and you would like to address them, please feel free to contact us or your account manager here at Innovia Consulting, and we would be more than happy to get those questions discussed with you.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Angie, for putting this on.
Thanks, everyone, for your time.
Thank you.
And just to let you know, we do have more webinars coming up. Next Tuesday, we have Avid Exchange, who will be presenting on 3 pillars of truly impactful AP automation. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's innovia.com/events. And we do have more training workshops for you and your team members to attend. Visit our training workshop page at innovia.com/workshops for more information and to register for the training workshop that fits your role. And we also have a podcast going on. It's called the Innovia Conversation. And we just want to let you know that our hosts, Steve Waltz and Jeff Progolski, have a variety of podcasts that you can listen to. And you can find all of that at innovia.com/podcast. So check out our selection and subscribe so you'll get notified when our new episodes air. And fall is approaching, and that means conference time in our world. Innovia Consulting is proud to be sponsoring the International Food Service Distributors Association Conference, otherwise known as IFTA, scheduled for September 12th through the 14th in Fort Worth, Texas. So you can check out our conference page, and that's innovia.com/conferences, to learn more about this conference and our other conferences that we have going on. All right, well, we thank you again for joining us. Thank you, food team, for presenting today. Really appreciate your demonstration, and we look forward to seeing you soon on another Innovia webinar. Take care, everyone.